Hayat hey yo, hey yo, hayat hayat hey hayat hey yo, hey yo.
Hello humans, and hello to those non-humans also watching. Gita Rose here. Thank you for tuning in. This week's video is about sacred steps in all of the ways that we can define and interpret that. So it's been a couple of weeks since I have made a video, and I'm really excited to be back here sharing some more integrations with you all. So this summer, I actually have spent a lot of time in sacred Native American lands. Up in Northern California, Shasta area, also Klamath River area, Siskiyou tribes, the Winnemem, Wintu tribes, Karuk tribes, their sacred lands. And I didn't even know it, but the forests are even connected. And it's a bit emotional for me in a way, because I'm still downloading and grounding all of the information that I have received from nature spirits, from certain aspects that feel like representatives of these tribes that are in spirit now, and then also, of course, the ETs and extra dimensionals. But in many different ways, tapping into these different guides and messengers that are a bit more rooted in earth are more far out for me. So while I was on the Klamath River, I met and was connected with a goddess archetype. I could hear, literally hear teachings in the water. I was spending so much time in the Klamath River, and also on the Yukonom Creek, in the Yukonom Creek. And while in these waters, I could physically hear a being that represented herself to me as a aspect of the mother goddess, of Mother Nature. But I wanted more. I was like, no, like, you feel so different. I don't know how to classify you, how to understand you. Can you give me something more to go on? And she told me, I know that you know Pele. Pele, the fire goddess, ultimate transformation. You can think of me as the snow goddess, as her sister. All of this water that I was in was snow melt. So that was enough for me. I was like, okay, great. And the main teaching that I kept receiving was, yes, going to these physical places, to these ley lines, into these sacred waters, to these sacred places, the activation of actually being on the land is necessary and palpable, and also it never leaves us. Once we are activated from these sacred places, it never leaves us. It is always with us. It becomes part of us. We become part of this land. The messengers, the guides, the spirits, the elementals, different aspects of the extra dimensionals are always, always with us. And I could feel this so strong while on the Klamath River. I was also taken through really specific lessons of sacred steps. Absolutely present awareness in action. True meditation in each and every moment while being in this land, with this land, of this land, and then taking it and truly applying it in my day-to-day life. The amount of sacred reverence and awareness in each and every moment. How do I open a door? How do I set my cell phone down? How do I brush my teeth? You understand, right? And we were on our way to Kannamma Falls. What was really fun about the Klamath River trip that I took is they were very much like normal people, right? People that aren't necessarily of the community or new age beliefs or what have you. They all work in the education system, but extremely open-minded and are like, yeah, like Gita's an ET channel, like this just happened to her, like no big deal. But it was really beautiful to be having all of these really intense activations with perhaps what some of us may judge as like people that are in the system and in the matrix, but those people are needed to be able to be the bridge for us, right? So I was in this walk going to Kannamma Falls, which is an extremely sacred place for the Karuk, and also a place of play, a place of gathering, a place of training. And I was being told by this snow goddess, and she was connected directly to the Karuk people. This exact path that you are taking is a path that we have taken for generations and generations and generations. And it's extremely sacred and challenging. This actual path is challenging. It's not a really easy hike. It's like it's a scramble, creek walk, hike. And I was shown to have such awareness with each step, feeling each action, each step. And the moment that I lost awareness, I was down. I was in that creek. I was inches away from really severely hurting myself. I almost twisted my ankle. Like, it was like legit. It was like full on, be reverent, be aware. I also learned that the Karuk people have really interesting beliefs, are still extremely protective and secret about their rituals, about their ceremonies that they still perform on the Klamath and Salmon rivers. But I was told from the river guide, my very normal friend, river guide, who knows enough about their mythology, that the Karuk still hold space and hold a place of truth for extra-dimensional beings, for beings that we would understand as part of the elementals, the wee people, pygmy people, Menehune, but that they hold a space for these people being bridge races, some type of an elemental creature, the human races, as well as Sasquatch beings. They fully believe that the Sasquatch at one time were one with the human race, that maybe even we directly were them, and there were these different star beings that came. This is part of their mythology, and that the Sasquatch still exist in the lower Klamath area, right underneath the Oregon border, that these beings still exist within these forests and will come and go. And it was then even more potent and powerful to be in this area. Then last week I was up at Mount Shasta and was feeling the same spirit, and was led to do a bit of research about where I was and go, oh, I'm basically in the same forest. This Klamath National Forest is massive. And like basically now I'm at like the southern tip. Before I was at like the middle, the northern tip, and it's the same forest. Okay, literally in some cases like the same waters. Okay, whoa. And I received the same lesson. I stepped into a small creek outside of the property that we were staying on, and I didn't have reverence, I didn't have awareness, and boom, I was down. I was like tripped, I was down, again, inches away from really hurting myself, and was given the same lesson of having extreme sacred action. I could go on and on and on, honestly, about the lessons that I received and all of the activations in terms of being in Shasta at the Lion's Gate, and thank you Casey Lake for organizing it and for all of the people, and I've learned so much that I probably will like circle back and go back to all of these different lessons in different ways. The last day that I was there, the last 2 days that I was there, we actually went to go camp in Panther Meadows, and I didn't read the signs. Literally, there's signs there when you first enter into that space of how to treat that landscape and to stay on the path. And I didn't read them. And I actually like laid down in the grass and on the heather, and I didn't know. And there was a guy that came up that's a volunteer that really was kind of stern with us and scolded us, but it was kind of needed in a way. It woke me up, and I went back to Panther Meadows later and started tuning into the energy there, this crystalline energy, this church, the heart. I've since done some research about the Wintu tribe, and the Winnemem Wintu means the middle people. And they believe that their genesis comes from the waters of Panther Meadows, that it is their birthplace, it is their creation story place, it is their crystalline clear energy. And I connected to many different extra dimensional beings there. I was able to feel the Fae completely and to see that each little piece of heather was their home, was their house. And to not step on it, to not lie down on it, to research what the Wintu believe and to spread the message of sacred steps and of reading the signs and of doing a bit of research when we go to these places to hold the space for their traditions. And that is how we build even further connections with the tribes, with the peoples, and with the different spirits that are there. These people have knowledge, but if we're not respecting their place, if we're not reading the signs, if we're not taking the signs, if we're not staying on our path, we don't get these little nuggets. And also in Shasta and in the waters there, I really learned and felt and knew the same understanding of, yes, please come to these places, read the signs, do your research, but also we are always with you. This power is always with you. It is what you are. And really apply it in each and every moment. Take these sacred steps. Be aware. Be present. And take the amount of reverence in each and every moment. In the last few weeks too, it's been interesting. I've kind of like been less inspired by the ET stuff and have really been earthing and grounding myself and knowing that I go through these cycles and that it all loops around and that it actually makes me a better channel, and getting really aware of where I am and how grateful I am for all of the nature and connection that I have right in my own backyard, and how all of us do in our own ways. And being really aware this year and so present and so thankful that there are hardly any fires in California. And just having the reverence and the awareness of that. And feeling that pure water and the purification that we can exude through our presence and through our actions. And I've been noticing that I'm becoming slightly more interested in activism, in environmentalism, in ways that feel really pure and really fresh within me. And I'm excited to see how that develops and share that with you all, because I have found a bit more of my river person and a bit more of the middle way, the middle people within these teachings of balancing the wisdom that we have from these more metaphysical, esoteric teachings, and then also allowing ourselves to get really physical, really in action, in sacred action, not falling too much into conspiracy theories, right? Like, for instance, the fires happening right now in the Amazon. I saw that there was one person that said, oh, these are created and these have been started, and like it's a fear porn mongering, and don't worry about it, the forest will be fine. On one level, I don't deny that may be very, very true. On another level, it's a really beautiful opportunity for us to feel our connection to the land, to feel really grateful for what we have around us, to know that it does mean that in some way we must take physical action. In some way we must implore the teachings of indigenous peoples, the teachings of the spirits of the land, and take physical action and very sacred, aware, reverent steps. So there is a petition that Greenpeace put up, and I laughed at myself because there was a point in time where I was like, oh, Greenpeace, that's an organized psyop as well. And I've like really been noticing shifts in my belief systems about things that a couple of years ago, like I would have been really like maybe had a negative belief about. But there's this petition that I will link below of bringing awareness to the importance of the indigenous land in the Amazon. Great, sign it. You don't need anything except no money, no time. It takes like 30 seconds. It's then being able to take a physical action about something that may be very negative or very scary, or we don't know how we can help. One little thing that we can do. It's a sacred step. I'll also leave a link of a place where you can donate money if you want, if it's fun, if it's exciting. I very much think that the money is going where they say it is going. To the Amazon to help. I will send a link. And I'm like laughing at myself even because I'm like, oh, she's gonna get like a little activist. Yeah, it's time. It's time. So I will leave those links because I do think it's something that is good to be aware of, that this is happening right now, that this really is the lungs of our planet, and that how connected it all is. How feeling the land, being the land, feeling the nature spirits, honoring the traditions of our indigenous peoples, reading the signs, staying on the path, and then doing these little physical actions in our day-to-day life in whatever way that feels comfortable for us is how we truly shift. And the more that we are slightly unconscious, that we are maybe in party mode too much, if we are just not honoring our ancestors, honoring the wisdom that has come before us, honoring the collective story, there's a really fine balance that I feel it's important to start talking about, and more of us are, and it's really exciting, and it's all connected. And being able to be in whatever nature that is close to you, and to know that when you are touching mineral, you are touching plant, you are connecting to fourth density, and you are also connecting to a very physical network to whatever potential natural, or I don't even want to say non-natural. I'm going to get into a whole different rant about the belief that some of these things are created and generated. I don't really think it's disempowering for us. So knowing that by us touching a mineral or touching a plant here, we are sending our love and our inspiration, our healing, our purity to the plants that are in the Amazon, or to whatever other aspect of the globe, our consensus globe, that is in suffering. So I am a completely new version of me, and I'm still really inspired and connected and all about the ETs, but I'm in different ways, I guess, saving that for people that know that they want to book a session with me. And I'm sure I'll loop around and tell different stories. I'm still going to have dreams, I'm still going to have experiences, and I still will share that, but I've come into a new middle way the last few weeks. So I am booking private sessions. I do sessions as myself for intuitive readings, different types of coachings, as well if you would like to have a nice chat with Bella. I will leave the link below for that as well. Remembering that we are always connected. We are always on sacred land. We are always of sacred land. And every action, every step that we take is sacred if we truly believe it so. If we know that we are in our integrity, in our joy, it is so. Thank you to those of you who subscribed the last few weeks, and thank you to those of you who continue to support and encourage my journey thus far. I sincerely appreciate it. You can like if you'd like, and subscribe if you'd like, and be sure to ring the bell ding dong if you'd like to get notifications on new videos. Our minds may be different, our bodies may be different, but it is through our hearts that we know our spirits are one. Aloha!
Oh, hiya, hiya, hey, yo, hey, yo, hiya, hiya, hey, hiya, hiya, hey, yo, hey, yo, hey, yo, hiya, hiya, hey. Hiya, 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 hey,